meal. He made this item. He said everybody gonna partake. You must bow down, and as soon as you hear the sound of all musical instruments, when you hear the horns, the flutes, the lyres, the cymbals, the harps, the bagpipes, and all the other musical instruments, you must worship the gold idol. King Nebuchadnezzar has set the idol up. Whoever does not bow down and worship this gold idol will immediately be thrown in a very hot furnace. 16. Ay. So I don't eat the food you made. I'm coming. Right. Cook. Okay. So as soon as they heard the sound, horns, flutes, lyres, cymbals, bagpipes, and whatever instruments else they got, they bowed down and worshiped the gold idol. They worshiped that gold idol. All the people, nations, and different languages, groups, they worship the gold idol that the king Nebuchadnezzar had set up. Then some of the Chaldeans, came up to the king and began speaking against the people from Judea. They said, King, may you live forever. Here's your shiny red apple. I'm your teacher's kid. King, we gave the command. I ain't no snitch and all, but you gave the command. You said that everyone who hears the sound of the horn, flutes, lyres, cymbals, harps, bagpipes, and all the other instruments must bow down and worship that gold idol you had put together. We put a lot of work in. Everybody better get down on that. We tired. We ain't seen our family in years putting this golden idol together. And these guys from Judea, they gonna bow down to you, great king. Some noticed that the substitutes of the ingredients and then eat it. They was paying attention to these ingredients. They said these are substitutes. This is not the real.
Come on now. That's that artificial stuff.
Yeah. Some people from Judea said, no, that season salt not Lawrence. They don't even have a name on it, just say seasoning salt. You don't drink some milk that just says milk. You don't have a percentage, you don't have red or blue top, it's milk.
Just milk.
The top is transparent. They ain't got no color on it. They noticed a substitute in effect. They noticed the substitute. The names was Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. They don't worship your gods. And they didn't bow down to worship the gold idol you set up. Nebuchadnezzar was very angry. Oh, are you serious? Y'all gonna show out like that? I've been taking care of y'all. Y'all gotta understand the story behind this. These guys was some of the great servants of the king, and king was fond of these folks. They was smart. God gave them a lot of intellect, a lot of wisdom, a lot of knowledge. So he depended on them. Daniel figured out the whole dream situation and interpreted it. He depended on these guys. These guys was the example. These guys was the ones that he said, hey, look, this is how y'all need to act. And then they stand up and everybody else bows down against what he said do. So who was king? Who was God? In his eyes, is it them or is it going to be me?
Come on now.
People see it happening. They say, hey, are they going to be the king of this land or you? You said they're going in the fiery furnace. And he like, yeah, out there. It's rocking the hard place, right? Mm-hmm. So he called Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. So they were brought to him, and Nebuchadnezzar said to them, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, is it true that you don't worship my gods? I don't know which one to worship. There's too many of them. Which way do I turn? Which way do I look? I don't know. I don't worship your gods. And is it true? You then bow down and worship the God idol, the gold idol I have set up so that you can know all my gods are filled into this one big old idol? We did that for you, so you can worship. No, we did not. So anyway, it says, now when you hear the sound of the horn, flutes, and lyres, and all the other instruments, you must bow down and worship the gold idol. You may have got confused or misunderstood the instructions, so I'm giving it to you. You're supposed to bow down. You know, you're one of my good people. Like you know what I'm saying? You make me look bad. If you are ready to worship the idol I have made, that is good. We'll make up for it. We'll do it all over again. We good. I'm a good people. But if you don't worship it, you put me in a bad place. You will be thrown in a very quickly, I'm sorry, very quickly into the hot furnace. I'm not going to hesitate. Then, oh God, will be able to save you from my power. So, whatever God you got, He's going to be powerful enough to take you from this fiery furnace. No substitutes. Only capital THE, capital NAME brand. Only name brand. How many of y'all pick your feet up? Do like this. Name brand only. I see the jump man under there. Name brand only. This is the only time we're going to celebrate name brand only around our parents. Like, you want to pay this some more. Name brand only. Only the name brand is acceptable. No substitutes. Y'all still with me?
Yeah.
Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered the king Nebuchadnezzar. We don't need to explain these things to you. You already know how we roll. We done this. We do this. We've been doing this for some time now. You know how we roll. We know how we do this. Come on. Are you serious? If you throw us into the hot furnace, the big God, capital G, we serve, can save us.
Period.
And, it was a big and, so I had to say, and, if you want to, you can save us from your power.
Mm-hmm.
But, even if big God does not save us, we want you to know, King, that we refuse.
Refuse.
No, we will not worship the gold idol we have set up. I'm trying to get y'all an idea. Nah, we ain't gonna do all of that, bro. I know you're king and all. We've been doing what we're supposed to do, but hey, you got this going on. That's for you, bro. I'm sorry. Then Nebuchadnezzar became very angry with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. He gave an order for the oven to be heated 7 times hotter than it usually was. See, with his mistake, he made it 7 times hotter, which is the number of completion. So he was like, hey, you know what? That's a God number. And you messed up, you should have did 6. You did it 7 times. And you don't understand when you got a strong person, somebody that made a steel, it makes an iron, you ain't doing but purifying it and making it better.
You better say that.
And you making it much stronger when you heat it up and you burn it. How do you think you make swords and all of these different things we got? We mold it and we shape it and we put heat on it. I guess Nebuchadnezzar didn't understand this.
He didn't.
He thought he was dealing with heat. Then go burn away and go into ashes. Nebuchadnezzar became very angry with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. He did the 7 times hotter thing. Thought he was going to do the same thing, go around the temple 7 times with the wall. I guess he was going to pull that off. But he was working for the wrong God. Some of y'all might know what I was talking about. Then he commanded some of the strongest soldiers in his army to tie up Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. We got the strongest ones. He said, "You can make this tight. There ain't gonna be no chance of them breaking loose." Man, this is crazy. Check this out. He told the soldiers to throw them into a hot furnace. So they was tied up, and they were thrown into this hot furnace. They were wearing their robes, pants, cloth caps. They made it clear, cloth caps, and other clothes. Now, let me back up a little bit. When he had them to turn his furnace up, these guys, y'all need to back up and move forward. These guys, let me make sure I find it here. Okay, here it is. So, these strong men, once they threw them in there, when they got close to the fire, they died. These strong men died because of the heat. It said that the king was very angry when he gave the command, so the soldiers quickly made the fire furnace very high because he was mad. They hurry up and did it. They weren't taking precautions. They didn't put no shields and nothing on. They just went towards it. The fire was so hot that the flames killed the strong soldiers. They were killed when they went close to the fire to throw Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego fell into the fire, and they were tied up every time. So they fell in the fire. Strong men, which we thought was strong, got caught on fire just by being close to it. You ever put your hand over a grill? Right. You didn't even touch the fire. That's what happened to them. They got burned up. Just like following orders.
Well.
They didn't know any better, but they still followed things.
Come on.
Wrong ingredients. Fire only removes the unclean. Don't be afraid of the fire unless it's unclean. King Nebuchadnezzar jumped to his feet. He was very surprised, and he asked the advisor, "We tied only 3 men up, and we threw only 3 men into the fire." Is that right? Was you paying attention? Was you paying attention? It was 3. You tied 3 up. His advisor said, "Yeah." The king said, "Look, I see 4 men walking around in the fire." You got, not only that you got 4 people in there, I mean, somebody fell in there, okay, whatever. But they are walking around. We get lost in the fact that it was an angel. Yes, thank God it was an angel in there. That's a huge point. They was walking around. It could have been all types of other explanations. One of the strong men fell in there with him or something. But it's a fiery furnace that's 7 times higher than it would normally be. And they are walking around in the fire. And it had to be an open fire or something. So why wouldn't they walk out the fire? If they was able to walk in the fire, they walking in circles like they praising the Lord. Like, maybe they were. Okay. Maybe they wasn't caught up in what's going on out here because the fire don't bother strong.
Come on.
So the 4th, it says they are not tied up and they are not burned. The 4th man looked like an angel. Nebuchadnezzar went to the opening of the hot furnace. He shouted, "Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, come out." He still want to act like he got power. He still running this.
Right.
Come on out of here. I got you. I saved you. I spared you. Yeah, okay. Servants of the Most High God, come here. Oh, now they servants of the Most High God.
Come on, that language change.
You come in there, you just too prideful to say something to other people. People will watch you go through the fire. They said there was a lot of people there. They watched him.
Right. Yeah.
They didn't say, hey, they good people, don't do it. Now they was like, see what they do. I bet y'all bow now. You better get back down here with me. Because they gonna burn up. No, they watched them go through the fire. When they came out, all of the people, the set reps and perfects, they got names, perfects. Governors and royal advisors and crowded around them, they could see that the fire had not burned Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Their bodies were not burned at all. Their hair was not burned. Their robes were not burned. They didn't like the smell as they were getting the fire. Or hear it. Nebuchadnezzar said, praise God for Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Like he was heavy in that. Their God has sent his angel and saved his servants from the fire. These three men trusted their God and refused to obey my command. Now you know he can't be excited about that. But you gotta keep his power somehow. They were willing to die instead of serving or worshiping of other gods. So I now make this law. Anyone from any nation or language groups who say anything against the God, the big God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, will be cut into pieces. Still calling homophobe. They will be cut in pieces. He still got the power, I guess. And their house will be destroyed until it is a pile of dirt and ashes. No other God can save his people like this. Then the king gave Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego more important jobs in the province of Babylon. So they got promoted in a bad situation. So we got to understand that when you have the proper ingredients, you may be making the same meal, the same dish, but some things just will not work out. Some things will not look right. Some things will not taste right. One of those things that you have to look at is who are your brothers and your sisters around you? Because some people just want to talk about you as long as you're not looking. You're going to end up getting thrown into the fire furnace. They're going to watch you go through the fire and see how you come out before they begin to serve what you serve. They're going to send you through hell so they can see how you come out of it, so that they can go through it. They're going to push you into this pit and see how deep it is before they climb down there. They're going to tell you to cross that quicksand and see how fast you sink before they go across it. People going to watch you go through this thing. And it's a matter of how you respond and how you react, because you're going to go through the storm. You're going to go through the process. And God's going to allow you to go through the process because you are the one that's going to make it successfully through the process. The ones that's watching can't make it without your leadership, without your influence, without your effect, without your purpose. Your purpose is to lead and guide and direct. Know who you are and whose you are. That's one of your ingredients. You need that. You need to know who you are and whose you are, because if you don't know who you are, you don't know which way to go. You don't know who to listen to. You don't know the voice that is being spoken to you. You got to know who it is that's speaking to you. Spirit of discernment. You have to have that. Some things going to look alike. If I took that sugar over there, I got an equal over there, and then I have a cane sugar. If I took that and poured it in there in your drink, you will only know about the taste. You wouldn't have known that it was something in there until you taste it. So you gotta have a spirit of discernment. Say, you know what, something don't feel right or seem right about that before you even put it to your lips. Some things just don't have labels. It's a salt and pepper container over there as well. They don't have no label. All you can go by is what you've been taught in the past. You know that the black container is pepper, the white container is salt. And if you continue to do that by just your past experiences. You're gonna make a mistake with salt in the start with hot pepper. You're gonna have a salty meal when you just need a little bit of pepper.
Right.
Because you follow the things that happened in the past, that you see take place in the past. Things change. Yeah? Things change. People change. Processes change. God set this up from the end to the end. He started at the finish line and said, okay, this is where I need them at. Let me walk my way back to them, to the beginning, and let's walk them through it. So he knows every step you have to make in life. He knows every pothole, every dead end. He knows everything. Everything. Because he's been through the whole process. I'm 39 years old. I'm 39 years old. And I still make the same mistakes I was making at 18. Why? Because I still haven't seen some of the things that take place in my life at 39. I haven't seen some of the mistakes, some of the things that's going to take place in my 40th year. I have no clue what I'm going to walk into in my 40th year. So guess what? I'm going to make some same mistakes that I would make in my 8th year. It may not look the same, but it's going to taste the same. It's going to be the same ingredients. Be confident that you are walking in the right direction. Understand that if it don't go your way, doesn't mean it's not God's way.
All right.
We have plans to do things in life. We try to accomplish things in life that is not God's way. Yes, we're going to fail. Yes, we're going to fall. Yes, we're going to falter. It's not God's way. It does not mean that you're not the child of God. It does not mean that you're not the will of God. It means that you just have to adjust and shift and prepare for the new step that you have to take to get back on track. Allow spectators to see you go through the fire. I know that's hard. I know it's hard. Yeah. People just watching you go through. Allow them to. It's a purpose behind it. It's a purpose behind allowing people to see you go through. Yeah. They're going to see the unclean things in your life. Yeah, they're going to see the mishaps, the mistakes, the errors. Yes, you're going to be a monster in the eyes of some people.
Say that again?
Yes, because they see you going through.
No. Well, yeah.
How many of y'all
saying
have
that work? Are you using yours? Okay.
How many of y'all like
That
chicken?
really shouldn't be the issue.
How many of y'all ever cook chicken?
Okay, that's smart.
Would you all eat chicken before
So
you
you
cook
got
it?
it. You got your end up here.
All I'm saying is, chickens have to go through the process.
Ew.
And if people sit there and watch you go through the process, some people won't want to deal with the chickens. Right? But if you see the show, if you give them the end process, the product, and they went through the process and they taste the chicken, you get them to try it, at the end they're like, oh my God. Let me store it. The process. Let me show somebody else how to do these. I don't eat more often. Now I don't eat chilies. I stopped eating chilies when I did see the process. But I used to kill them. I used to love them. So my thing is I had to appreciate them by going and seeing somebody go through the process. Because it's work. It's a process. And people who's doing it want you to appreciate it when you do it. If you get those little bit of chilies on Thanksgiving and you throw them away, you're going to have to answer to the person who cooked them. Don't touch my chicken if you're not going to eat them. And so what I'm saying is, you got to allow them to, they got to allow them to see the process. And let them make the decision if they're going to partake in it. Share the most important ingredient of it all. God. His foundation of love and support for the real of your life. Yep. That's it for today. Man. Yeah, the most important foundational ingredient is God. So let's say you over here and you over there, and you back there, All you all have different lives, right? That's a different meal in this message. That means you have different ingredients in your life. That means you don't need beef in your meal. That person may need beef over there. You may just need vegetables. So what I'm saying is, everybody's life looks different.